Hello and welcome back to Vintage Disney Halloween here on Brian's Things That Are Cool. From 1990 to 1997, Disney was nice enough to give us the Disney Afternoon. A 2-hour programming block of Disney's most popular animated shows, the Disney Afternoon was essential viewing at the end of a long day of school. And like most sitcoms of the day, many of these shows had their own spooky episode, and that's what we're looking at today. Now, we won't be looking at every show that Disney Afternoon had on because some of them just didn't have a Halloween-themed episode. But these did. This is Spooky Disney Afternoon. DuckTales was based on the Uncle Scrooge comic books created by Carl Barks. The show follows Scrooge McDuck, his 3 nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and his pilot, Launchpad McQuack, as they go on various adventures, usually a treasure hunt or trying to stop various villains from stealing Scrooge's fortune. It also had one of the most memorable theme songs in television history, one that will implant itself in your head for the rest of your life. What can you say but DuckTales? DuckTales ran for 100 episodes and 1 feature film between 1987 and 1990, and was rebooted in 2017. The ghoulish episode 62, Ducky Horror Picture Show, aired on December 31st, 1987. Scrooge wants to make money off of an old rundown mansion, but when he unknowingly rents it out to the Wolf Duck and Dracula, I know, there are a lot of duck puns, and other monsters for an annual convention, they wreak havoc on Duckburg. With films like The Halloween That Almost Wasn't and Monster Squad, or theme park attractions like Beetlejuice's Rock and Roll Graveyard Review, what better way to get into the Halloween spirit than have all the classic monsters together in one place? Of course, here, they're all ducks. The backgrounds here perfectly capture the spirit of the season with its dark color scheme. The jokes are typical monster-related humor, but still fun. It's a loving tribute to the classic monsters that's sure to raise the hairs on the back of your neck. Or feathers. From ducks to vermin. Next up we have Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers sees our 2 favorite chipmunks team up with Gadget Hackwrench, Monterey Jack, and Zipper to form a detective agency investigating crimes that are usually too small for the police to handle. Thus, most of their clients are other animals. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers was originally pitched as a show called Metro Mice, but Disney CEO Michael Eisner suggested replacing the main character Kit Colby with established Disney stars Chip 'n Dale. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers ran for 65 episodes between 1989 and 1990. A live-action feature-length movie of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is currently available on Disney+, starring John Mulaney and Andy Samberg as the famed duo. Our spooktacular episode comes to us in episode 22, Ghost of a Chance, which aired on October 10th, 1989. The Rescue Rangers follow Fat Cat and his minions to the Tower of London, where Monterey Jack meets his ancestor Sir Colby, a cowardly ghost. Now the Rescue Rangers and their spirit friend have to stop Fat Cat from stealing the crown jewels. The setting of the Tower of London offers everything you could want in a Halloween episode. Dark shadows, ghosts, paintings with moving eyes, spiders. There's no case too big, no case too small with the Rescue Rangers. What do you do with a beloved Disney character and a completely unrelated film style? No, not Goofy in a gripping crime drama. This is TaleSpin. In a very strange setup, TaleSpin focuses on Baloo from The Jungle Book as a 1930s bush pilot who fights sky pirates with his sidekick Kit. Along for the ride are Wildcat, Molly, and Baloo's boss Rebecca, who was voiced by Sally Struthers. TaleSpin was based on a show from the 1980s called Tales of the Gold Monkey, which was a tribute to cliffhanger serials from the 1930s and 40s. And the character of Rebecca was actually based on the Kirstie Alley character from Cheers. TaleSpin ran for 65 episodes between 1990 and 1991, and the characters even made a cameo appearance in the 2017 reboot of DuckTales. The closest the series got to a Halloween episode was in episode 16 with Her Chance to Dream, which aired on September 19th, 1990. When Baloo and Louie rush into Rebecca's office frantically telling her that they've seen a ghost, she doesn't believe them, thinking it's all a lame excuse for Baloo neglecting his job again. Meanwhile, Rebecca starts falling for the mysterious Captain William Stansbury, The ghost effects are colorful and the music mixes whimsical with dark and foreboding. Not scary in any sense, more of a romance, but a ghost story nonetheless. Time to go back to ducks. The Disney afternoon loved ducks, so let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck was a creative superhero parody following Drake Mallard, who fights crime as his masked alter ego Darkwing Duck. Along with his daughter Goslin and his sidekick Launchpad, they keep their city of St. Canard safe from evildoers. Darkwing Duck was inspired by 2 episodes of DuckTales, Double O Duck, in which Launchpad becomes a secret agent, and The Masked Mallard, in which Scrooge becomes a masked crime fighter. Originally, it was going to be a direct spin-off of Double O Duck, but unfortunately Disney wasn't able to obtain the rights to the Double O title, so Darkwing was born. Darkwing Duck ran for 91 episodes between 1991 and 1992. Seth Rogen is currently looking to produce a reboot for Disney Plus, but the project is still in development. Our tale of terror comes to us in episode 28, Ghoul of My Dreams, which aired on October 31st, 1991. Arch-villain Morgana is using sleep sand to rob the citizens of St. Canard while they sleepwalk. Darkwing tries to stop her, but ends up in Dreamland himself. The controller of Dreamland, Nadav, who also supplies Morgana the sleep sand, wants the entire city asleep and will stop at nothing to make sure he gets his way. Morgana Macabre is a really fun horror-inspired villain who lives in a dark, spooky mansion. She reminds me a lot of Magica De Spell from DuckTales. Nadav is an enjoyable imp-like villain, and the surreal atmosphere of his dreamland is imaginative. With plenty of weird Gothic-style backgrounds and clever writing, Darkwing is there to keep us safe, for he is the terror that flaps in the night. Next, let's head down to Spoonerville and see how Max and Goofy celebrate Halloween. Goof Troop. Goof Troop was a fun show focusing on Goofy, his son Max, and their neighbor Pete and his family. Somewhere between 1928 and 1992, Pete regrew his leg. I'm kind of sad they ditched Pete's original villainous personality, but he's pretty funny as an overbearing father in a family where the daughter's name is Pistol. Goof Troop aired for 1 year between 1992 and 1993, and was adapted into 2 feature films with Jason Marsden taking over the role of Max from Dana Hill, who sadly passed away on July 15, 1996. Our Halloween entry of the series comes in episode 35, Halloweens, which aired on October 14, 1992. On Halloween, Pete buys the old Spoonerville mansion with plans to turn it into a hotel. Unfortunately, it turns out Pete's new hotel is haunted by 3 ghost musicians. The backgrounds, designed by background artist J. Michael Spooner, who lent his name to the town on the show, are effectively creepy. We also meet one of Goofy's ancestors in ghost form, Goofer Amos, who in life was a ghost catcher. Dark colors, cobwebs, zany slapstick, and some creative ghost effects makes for a fun seasonal episode. Great things don't last forever, and with our next 2 shows we've reached the point where things start to go downhill. First up, Bonkers. Bonkers wasn't a particularly original or creative show. Centered around a disgruntled cop and a wacky tune. Bonkers aired for 1 year between 1993 and 1994 and follows Bonkers D. Bobcat, a washed-up toon who becomes a cop and investigates crimes in Hollywood, California. Our spooky entry of the series comes in episode 17, Poltertoon, which aired on September 28, 1993. A ghost moves into Detective Piquel's house and wreaks havoc on the very night his boss is coming over for dinner. It's up to Bonkers and his best friend Fall Apart Rabbit to take care of the ghost by becoming the Ghost Fighters, one of 2 Ghostbusters references in this episode. Their big plan is to fight fire with fire, or ghost with ghost, as they hire a ghost friend to come in and take care of the situation. Elmo Willow the Ghost, whose speaking voice is a Bing Crosby impression, which is an odd choice, has a fun design, but tends to move a lot like the genie from Aladdin, without Robin Williams' manic performance to back it up. Bonkers had a manic energy to it, but could have used a few rewrites. We end this episode on a low note, I'm afraid. Quack Pack. What does that even mean? This late 90s DuckTales sequel follows the misadventures of Donald Duck and his teenage nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. To be fair, they were always kind of little troublemakers, but now it's the 90s. They've got to be cool. Quack Pack lasted 39 episodes and ran in 1996. The series was spoofed in the 2017 reboot of DuckTales episode Quack Pack, where the boys find themselves trapped in a 1990s sitcom. The Halloween episode of Quack Pack, The Boy Who Cried Ghost, aired on October 31st, 1996. Dewey's pranks go too far as the boys are heading for a Halloween party and they end up getting stranded in a haunted mansion, and Dewey has a hard time convincing Donald, Huey, and Louie that it's not just another practical joke. The opening has some nice classic Halloween scenery. Old dead trees, a graveyard, even Dewey's first prank, dressing up as a scary skeleton, has a great look to it. Then we get our classic horror setup, a dark and stormy night as the boys and Donald try to find shelter in an old haunted mansion. The animation's top-notch, as is the character design, backgrounds, lighting, and effects. In fact, there are some legitimately scary-looking monsters here. Unfortunately, they've made Huey, Dewey, and Louie so annoying, desperately trying to be 90s cool, it drags the episode down. Which was the problem for the series as a whole. Watch it with the sound off, perhaps? DuckTales had a timeless feel, and though this episode has a lot going for it, it's easy to see why this sequel series didn't last too long outside of Duckburg. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my look at the spooky episodes of the Disney Afternoon. If you want to be kept up to date as to when I release a new video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And if you really want to be kept up to date, hit that bell as well. I'm Brian, and I'll see you next time.